Okay, so line 99 where the nurse is talking and she's speaking to the children. There you are, my poor little loves. Wasn't I right? Your mother has a troubled heart and an angry one too. Inside the house with you, quick and no delay. Don't let her catch sight of you or approach her. Watch out for that savage temperament of hers, that stubborn will and unforgiving nature. Off with you right now, go in and quickly. It's clear that this anger of hers will grow. Soon enough, her grief, like a gathering cloud, will be kindled by it and burst in storm. What action will she take then, that proud, impassioned soul, so ungovernable now that she has felt the sting of injustice? Okay, so we're not going to go on more from there. So this is the nurse talking to the children and saying she's worried about them. She's just spent the whole prologue talking that she's worried for her mistress. She knows her mistress, what she's capable of. She knows that when she's angry, she can do some quite horrific things. And she's heard her mistress say things like, I would rather the children would die with their father. Okay, so she's nervous about what's going to happen. She warns them and she says to stay away. They're not safe with this mood that she's in. Okay, and so it says here, this anger of hers will grow. Soon enough, her grief, like a gathering cloud, will be kindled by it and burst into storm. So the grief that she feels with being exiled and with Jason having a new wife is going to turn into something bigger, and we know that it does. So this is all foreshadowing for us because we can feel that this is really essentially announcing to us that there's later on going to be things that are happening. And this is the key line here, line 110. Her soul, her impassioned soul, is so ungovernable now that she has felt the sting of injustice. The injustice is Jason's actions. There is no justice in them. He's done whatever he likes. It's not fair. He's not adhering to any oaths. He's not adhering to morality. It's definitely immoral what he's done. And because of that, she can't be controlled. She is ungovernable. Government, as in rules, don't apply to her. And then we have the children's mother, MEDEA. Ah, my sufferings, my wretched sufferings. They invite a world's tears. Oh, accursed children of a hateful mother, I want you to die along with your father and all the house to go to ruin. So the word house could be, I've forgotten the word now, substituted for family. They don't have a word for family in ancient Greek. Okay, so the word house really mean, when they say the house here, it's not the physical property or the building, it actually means the family can go to ruin. Jason is the head of this family and it can all go. And the nurse hears her and says, oh mercy, I can't bear it. What makes you blame the children too for their father's crime? Why do you hate them? Oh, you poor dears, I have a terrible fear in my heart that you'll come to some harm. They have frightening natures, those of royal blood, because I imagine they're seldom overruled and generally have their way. They do not easily forget a grudge. Better to have formed the habit of living on equal terms with your neighbours. Certainly what I want for myself is to grow old in secure and modest circumstances. For moderation in the first place sounds more attractive on the tongue and in practice is by far the best for a man. Excess, though, means no profit for a man and pays him back with greater ruin. Whenever a house earns heaven's anger. So the heaven's anger, what is the anger that's coming to this house? Why is the anger coming? Because of the oaths have been betrayed. And the fact that he has done things for his own profit and he's made decisions for his own gain and he's going to be paid back with greater ruin. There is no moderation in what he was doing. He was seeking more and more and more. And so here we've got royal blood. And who's the royal? We've got Creon, we've got his daughter. We've also got MEDEA, who was originally from quite a royal, and she is a demigod. So she is also seldom overruled. She is not used to being subjugated. She's not used to being powerless and not able to control anything. So she is going to make those changes. She's going to pay people back because she doesn't see herself as deserving of this treatment, and that's really important. So the nurse is someone who knows her quite well, and so when we look at this particular passage, it's definitely foreshadowing what is to come. And we know that Medea will be in control of the children's death, really, as part of her vengeance for the immoral act that has occurred. And the immoral act that has occurred is the betraying of the oaths, and Creon and his daughter are complicit in this behaviour. They have allowed the oaths to be portrayed. So if we look at our passage analysis prompt sheet, we've got the characters, their motivations, desires and qualities. So our three sort of sets of characters are the nurse, the children and Medea. So the nurse is worried about the children. She loves them. She loves Medea. She doesn't want this to go to rack and ruin. She's cross at Jason for this. She sees him as causing this, but she is well aware that Medea's own personality is not going to let Jason get away with this. So even though she's blaming Jason, she's concerned because she knows about Medea's behaviours and what she'll be like. In terms of desires and qualities, Medea, we've talked about that. She's not used to being subjugated. She's quite angry about it. She is a demigod. She's come from a family where this wouldn't happen. She's given up so much, and so now she feels very, very wronged because of everything she's given up beforehand. The setting, we are outside the house. The nurse was outside originally. Previously, we could hear Medea inside the house wailing, and we could hear that she was upset. She has composed herself and she's exited the house. So it's showing that she is in control of her emotions and what people see. And what the audience sees at this stage is a rational person. But she's come out into that male realm. The events we're starting to foreshadow here. So in terms of impact on the overall plot, the fact that he's foreshadowing certain things. In terms of those key lines, it is any of those, that description there about how she's ungovernable. So the idea that Athenians and Corinth, she's not going to adhere to those particular rules. She's not going to behave how stereotypically people would expect you to. And line 128, excess though means no profit for a man and pays him back with greater ruin. Okay, the idea at line 120 as well that royal blood is seldom overruled. Okay, and obviously line 115, the fact that Medea wants the children to die along with their father because she wants the house to go to ruin, and the word house meaning family.
What did you say for characters?
As in, so I did motivations and desires. So the nurse is concerned for the people she loves. She is very loyal to Medea and the children. She sees them as part of her family. She just wants to be able to live modestly, the nurse, but she sees this as going to ruin everything, really. She's come along with Medea from Colchis, where she's come from, and so her desire is that everything would be fine, but she knows it's not going to be, and she's actually nervous for the children. She wants them to be able to live through this, and she's conscious that Medea's actions are probably going to cause more problems than good. Okay, meta language, I'd have to get the list up, but you can look for meta language there, whether you're talking about whether someone's being capricious, or there's Machiavellian, or there's machinations, or anything like that. You can look for those sort of things yourself. So if we were to have a feminist perspective here, we would definitely be saying that, the patriarchal society has caused certain things to happen. If we were having that patriarchal perspective of the Athenian man, we would actually be saying that Medea knowingly entered into a marriage and should have adhered to this, knowing that's what the rules were. So we can have different perspectives there to see what's going on. In terms of the timeline, this is very early in the scenes, and no serious events have occurred. Medea is just full of grief. She's full of stress and angst and worry. She is more concerned about this exile. She's very angry at Jason, but the fact that she's been exiled is a bigger concern for her. She has no way to recompense this or to stop this from happening. Aegeus hasn't turned up yet. She hasn't made all of her oaths promising certain things. She is just expressing her grief at this stage. As soon as this grief turns into anger and she can start plotting and she gets a means to enact her plots, is when the drama really takes hold. But this is early in the scene. In terms of context, historical, political, social, etc., it's looking at the treatment of other and barbarian, and she's from somewhere else, the treatment of women in that patriarchal society, the fact that the Athenians thought they were at the height of civilization and democracy, and that they really felt they showed a balance of Sophrosyne, and Euripides is saying, no, this is not necessarily really so here, and you've caused this, and your actions, your societal norms have caused this feeling of angst in somewhere here. The main ideas put forward are discussing how those societal norms cause problems, and how the patriarchal society and the reverence of heroes causes some of these problems. We've talked about those keywords and quotes, vocab for list you can get yourself. Structure elements, this is just out of that prologue there. We have not met the chorus yet. We're about to meet the chorus. So it's just before the parados. So that's that structural element there. So it is those opening scenes, the prologue there, just before the parados. Spell which one? Parados. Okay, and that is all you would need to do for your